subliminal messages, subliminal minds. We here with the crew. It's 3 of us.
MindStrong Project.
MindStrong Project. I messed up. MindStrong Project.
Welcome to episode 52. That was the most intimidating voice we've had in all 52 podcasts. So we decided to let it go. How about that, boys? We got, so my voice is kind of lost a little bit. Pete, how's your voice?
Struggling
A little bit. And Big D.
Yeah, my voice is gone. I don't always sound like this.
You got them smooth criminal voice
going.
Yeah,
I need to make a song right now.
Got the smooth criminal. So we got DJ Reader with us today. This is episode 52. It was a 5th-round pick out of Clemson.
Yeah.
Play a little bit of ball there. Play a little baseball.
A little bit of ball. All right.
Play a little bit of football. Pete thought you played center field. He thought when I asked
right field.
He said I got some good feet. I mean,
yeah. This morning he said the defensive tackle for the Texans was a shortstop and a center fielder at Clemson first year.
I was out there sitting in the right field somewhere, sitting on the bench, just chilling. That's where I like
in the bullpen.
That's where I found my peace, in the bullpen, watching everybody else warm up to go in the game.
Well, first of all, man, thanks for heading over here. We got New Year's Eve. It's 2019, so to start 2019, the boys are sitting over at Brian's house. You guys are fresh off AFC Championship South, so congratulations to you two.
Yeah, hit the round of applause button. That wasn't a clap. Like you supposed to hit the clap, but a round of applause. You doing a DJ drop?
That's my hype. That's my hype song.
You're the commentary guy here, Pete.
All right.
That's as much color as you're gonna get from me tonight.
There's the color side of it. So we're sitting over at Pete's. We're in Houston, Texas. The boys from Minnesota are heading back north tomorrow. But before we do that, we're settling down with some tea and DJ, and we're gonna just chop up some talk here and relax on our
Biggie cup.
Tuesday night? Is it Tuesday night right now?
Yes,
it's Tuesday night.
It is Tuesday.
All day.
Well, take us through, man. Well, so take us a little bit on where you're at right now. How'd you get? You're from North Carolina.
I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. Both my parents grew up there. Well, my dad grew up in Hamlet. My mom's family's from Greensboro, and then like Whiteville, North Carolina, kind of near the beach. Super country. Everybody's super country. So we live like Greensboro's like a city, so it's nice. Like
yeah.
It's good to like be in a city, but like all my family's super country. So like my grandma and them had farm and chickens and cows and all that shit, and they used to make us go out there and work in the tobacco fields and shit. So like when I was young, I knew what hard work was, but I knew I didn't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
So football came along and baseball sports came along. So I mean I was like, man, it's either that or the rest of my family's doing that, and I damn sure don't want to do that. So I think I'm gonna try to work the sports thing out.
Oh man, let's go. So
it's kind of crazy.
So you come across ball? How did the ball? Was it in the family or?
My mom played college softball.
Okay.
My uncle played running back at Tennessee. My dad's side of the family didn't do much sports. I mean, they played in high school and shit, but they didn't play much. And my mom didn't play, and then my granddad played in the Negro League. So I just always liked playing. And I was homeschooled till 6th grade.
Right on.
So my mom, I didn't have nothing else to do but go play sports all the time.
So you were either working on the farm or just chucking baseballs.
Yeah, in the summer I was at the farm, which I hated because imagine being a kid in your summers.
And hot.
You going from the city to the country to work on the farm.
Yeah.
It would be different if you were going from the farm to the city in the summers. Like I'm going from the fun. That's going to be the fun in the summer in the city.
Yeah.
To go. So that was terrible.
What was the first love? Was it baseball?
First love baseball because I was too fat to make the weight limit for football.
Yeah.
And every time I used to go to practice, all I did was run around the field all day in those little sweat bags.
Yeah.
Then we get to Saturday or we get to Thursdays when we got to weigh in for the games, and I don't make weight limit. All my teammates like, damn man, next week we'll get it next week, man. All right. So like baseball, I had no weight limit, so I just played all the time.
And just were hucking.
Yeah.
So were you good at sports right away?
I was good at baseball. I never know how. I mean, I never got to play football.
Yeah, right.
So I never knew.
That is an interesting concept. Yeah. So how did you stick with the just to stay away from the farm? Why just keep running on football?
I think there's like 5 dudes from my Pee Wee football team who play in the NFL right now, and I mean, I always felt like they could do it, and then like all the little farm list was like hard work and stuff. My dad always told me like, there's no substitute for hard work. And then we got to high school. middle school and weight limits were out the door, and I was able to play, and I liked it. We sucked in high school, only won like 9 games in 4 years.
Oh, damn.
So I just thought like baseball was gonna be the thing.
Yeah.
But football was giving out 100% scholarships. So I was like, man,
we're doing this.
This is how we get into college. This is how we get into college. I don't know how things are gonna shake out after that.
I'm gonna play football now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting how that plays. So you go to a losing high school, and then you go to.
Just in football, man.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So,
The baseball program.
Everything else is pretty good. Just football. Football's terrible.
Because I'm trying to catch. Because obviously
imagine
you were
this, though.
good. Yeah.
The year before I got there, we went to the state championship, and then I only won 9 games in 4 years after that.
Oh wow.
What did you guys do at Clemson? You had to have been part of the.
Yeah, I was part of the good teams at Clemson. That's really where I fell in love with football, because in high school, winning 9 games, like, I liked it, but it wasn't fun. In basketball, we were good. In baseball, I could control more of the outcome. Like, we were pretty good, but I could, like, when I was on the bump,
yeah, when you were
I could
pitching,
control
you could
things.
dominate
Like,
it. Right, yeah.
And so, like, football was the only thing. I played defensive line, and it's an impactful position, but in the outcome of a full game,
right.
One dominant defensive lineman, like, not really gonna kill the whole offense or another. Like, so it used to be bad.
Does that do if you are the only good player? Like in baseball, you can be you could be on a losing team as a baseball player, as a pitcher, and just dominate and get recruited, right?
Yeah.
But in football, like, how much does it play if you're losing?
You can still get recruited. Obviously, I still got recruited, but it plays so much into the mental game, I think, with me with, like, football, because, like,
right.
football's, oh, my God, that is a big play. Sorry. That really distracted me. But football is like one of those things that you want to go out there and assert your dominance on another player, and, like, when you're losing, it's just kind of like, yeah, you can talk all that shit. You can say you're doing this. You can say you're killing us. We busting y'all ass on the scoreboard, so it doesn't matter. Like, nothing matters. So, like, I think that was the biggest thing. Like, it messed with me mentally, because it was like, am I good? I don't know, because we suck. I'm on this team, so
yeah.
Maybe I'm part of the problem also.
Well, because Brian, we've been talking all week. So Pete and I met in Pickerington, where he grew up and played through the whole way, right? And their football teams were awesome. Still are. They were ranked. Did they win the state championship this year?
No, not this year. They lost in I think the Final Four. But we won the year before. Been the state.
They went to the playoffs.
Yeah, dude had
like, awesome, man.
Dude had 10 D1 football players when you were on the team.
Yeah. On our, I guess, my senior year team, between the sophomores, juniors, and seniors.
Well, it's just mentally wise, then you go to Clemson and you win all the time, right? Right now, currently too, you guys are winning, and it's like, what does that shift when you go to Clemson? What was the feeling?
Big confidence booster.
Yeah, right.
Big confidence booster. I felt better. I love the sport more. Obviously, I had more fun playing it.
Yeah,
and then it was just like, I was on a team that was winning, and I was still doing good. So it was like, oh man, maybe I could play at another level one day. Like, I don't know how good people are in the NFL, because football is weird. Because you can have kids who are so good in college go to the NFL and not be good, and when you're in college, you don't understand. Like, you don't understand that. So it's just like, I still toy with, am I still good enough to go to the NFL? Because I just watched a guy who was a killer on our team go to the NFL get cut.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you still struggle with that whole view, and then, like, that was like the weirdest thing for me when I got, but like, it was a big confidence booster though, just winning, but I still didn't know if I could make it past college. I just knew, all right, I'm good enough to play Division I football clearly, so I'm straight.
Right.
How quickly did you play at Clemson?
My freshman year, I went into a good situation though. Nobody on our D-line was over a sophomore except one person. So
that factored into the decision.
Yeah, it factored in my decision a lot, because it was just like, all right, there's a bunch of young guys, and even if I can't play over them, I know I got a chance to grow them where I can get rotated in. Like, I can feed into this. Like, when you go into a program, there's a bunch of seniors, you might have no chance of ever seeing the field as a freshman.
Yeah.
But they don't trust sophomores that much. They barely know just as much as me, so like, they'll put me out there.
I agree. How many other schools, how many other offers did you have?
Yeah,
I had 20 football and like 7 or 8 baseball.
Nice.
What was the does the baseball? I guess it really doesn't matter if you have a scholarship in baseball, if you have a full ride in football.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Yeah, you just go off the football scholarship and basically like you just play baseball.
Do you have to practice with baseball?
Yeah, you got to show up to, like all the fall stuff.
Come
like,
on.
It's not as bad. They don't make you show up to all the like fall ball everything, but you got to go meet with the hitting coach, go get your hitting time in, all that stuff all the time. Yeah.
So you were going to football and then going right to baseball.
It usually be luckily like Clemson had a nice facility, so we had lights everywhere in the baseball. So like we'd always be out there at night.
And so then
I get Carlos and them to come out there with me, like my football roommate. So when I was doing tee work or whatever, shag balls and do stuff like that.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it. So you do that, and then you only played ball. You only played baseball there 1 year, and then that was it just too much?
It was just I didn't really. I mean, Coach, like he's a legend, he's a great guy, but it just wasn't my vibe. It wasn't my scene after my first year.
Sure.
Like it's not that the mentality of a baseball player is any different than a football player, but it's just the locker room was so much different. Everything was so much different.
We talk about that.
Going over there, like going from football and then going over there, and really watching like the stress the kids were dealing with about something that really wasn't that important. Like some of my teammates would like strike out, and then our coach would be like, "All right, good job. Like you get them next time." They're coming back to the dugout freaking out. I was like, if I mess up over there at football, my coach called me a dumbass and told me all the time. Like he called me so out of my name, and y'all getting like encouragement going back to the dugout, and y'all are freaking out in the dugout like this. I was like, this is absurd.
So this is good. So what should a baseball player? What should you say to the baseball?
Yeah,
guys?
I mean, I don't know. Like it's one of those sports you obviously know you're gonna fail, and I know it sucks to lose. Like like it used to, but it wasn't like it was one of those things that happened. It was every single time. Like, bro, sometimes he got you. Like you. Sometimes he threw something you didn't expect. He got your ass. Don't come back here slamming your shit every time this happens. Like that's how the game goes. But I don't know. And then my coach Leggett, he's a great guy, a legend, but he's just I don't know. He's just too badass for his own good. Like he had those kids so intimidated sometimes. It used to be crazy. Like I felt like they really felt like he would beat them up. Because I just feel like he's a tough some bitch. Like he's just a little tough guy. And like I just don't like. Sometimes he used to like do stuff. Like he'd be like, I'll jump on you guys. He's like, man, you like 5'5".
Yeah, we get it, Skip.
You're like 80 years old.
We
like,
get it, Skipper.
Please don't touch me.
What was so Pete and I always talk about the clubhouse chirping. So we got the house is filled with baseball dudes. These dudes, we don't talk to each other unless we're making fun of each other. You know what I mean? That's baseball language. Yeah. So we always say, you can't mess with Herc that much over there. You know what I mean? You can get him a little bit, but then after a few hours in the day, it's time to let Brian kind of relax a little bit because he can't get chirped like a baseball guy.
Yeah, that's.
Are you chirpable?
Yeah, I'm chirpable.
You're
all
chirpable?
Day. Yeah, I'm not. I don't really. Yeah.
He's got the best of both worlds working.
Yeah, I'm real chirpable. What I told you, my brother played college baseball too.
Yeah.
He played at Chapel Hill and then he transferred to North Carolina A&T.
Okay.
So like my brother just, man.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast. He's an entity by himself. He's just so chirping. Like I can do it all day just because being around him and being around baseball my whole life. Yeah. Especially college baseball is crazy. That 1 year was nuts. I was like, these dudes are funny. They're funny.
But you get into a football locker room, and obviously your passion shifted pretty quick. But the chirping's not the same.
The chirping's not the same. You got so many different personalities. Like some of the chirp we now do in the baseball locker room, we get you beat up in the football locker room.
Well, that's what he said.
It goes physical.
For sure, it gets physical real. Like you got to know who you can play with like that in the football locker room. And some people you wouldn't even bring like there's some people in our locker room you wouldn't even bring some of the chirping that you do in like that way. You just be like, you look at that guy and be like, nah.
You're not gonna get it.
You're not gonna get it. I'm just going to pass it.
I'm gonna let this go. Why is that?
It's a sport where there's so many people from so many different walks of life.
Yeah.
Every rec center got a football like. You can go out there and get some pads in the football field. Like, everybody's there.
Yeah.
And so many different guys make it, and so many different positions call for different skill sets.
And mentalities.
Yeah, and mentalities. Like, this most positions, you kind of know the standard kind of guy that you're going to get in that position.
Right.
There's only a couple outliers in certain positions, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know what I'm
agree.
trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
but like that, you just know like what kind of person or the generality of what type of people you get in that position. That's just the way it goes.
So it's like outside perspective is the linemen are just hilarious, massive humans.
I mean, they have to be. They get no credit. You got to be lighthearted. You get yelled at if things are bad. If things are good, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you got to be, like, lighthearted and just love your job and love to embrace the grind and do that job.
Yeah.
Or you just big as shit. You couldn't find anything else to work out. And you were pretty good at football. And you were like, I'll just ride this wave until it ends.
Until it ends.
Yeah, but it's a weird dynamic for the offensive line, too, because they're probably the most cohesive.
Yeah, they're real
Well,
cohesive.
that's what I would guess. But that also, I would, again, outside perspective, I would imagine that's because if no one else is giving you credit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to
have-
embrace it. Like,
yeah.
you just,
Yeah.
nobody's going to, like, you're with them.
Yeah.
They're going to blame it on you. Nobody cares if you do good except your running back and quarterback and everybody on your team.
Right.
Everybody else just kind of like, oh, yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah. And then you got linebackers. You know,
They're cool.
Yeah.
I think they're cool just because they're really cohesive. And they're usually always that's a very diverse group of most football teams.
yeah.
And not saying like diversity as in like color, but like personality of that position.
Really?
You can have anybody. Like that's a diverse personality position. You got smart guys. You got super instinctive guys. You got work hard guys. Like you got that position. Period. Just like really different than everyone. Because then you got outside guys, inside guys. You got guys who do this well. You got swing guys who can do both. It's a weird position.
What do you think about that?
I agree. It's probably one of the more dynamic positions because you got to play the run, play the pass. It's a combination of the two.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're playing off them and we're communicating with the back end. So we're kind of middlemen between the two groups because the DBs are pretty cohesive, but we got to work with them. But then we got to make calls to the front. So it just it demands a certain amount of IQ. But at the end of the day, like you don't have to be the smartest guy to do it. Like you're still playing football. You're still read and run pass. It's still.
What's the smartest defensive position?
Middle linebacker.
Yeah, middle linebacker.
Because you have to know everything.
I mean, I guess if depending on what system you're in, corner could be really like.
Yeah.
You really mess with you.
I would hate safety. You get
Depending
fried
on-
in safety, you're getting.
Yeah, I mean, you are the last. This is the only part that sucks about it. Really, a lot. Because if they bomb, you're the last line of defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Any mistake is gonna make you look bad at that back end, like that part, like wherever you at that back there.
They have the grace of time, though.
Yeah, they
see
got the
things
grace of time. They
unfold.
see a lot of things. Yeah.
But when the time comes and everything splits and it's you one-on-one in a small parking
Yeah.
lot to tackle a guy, it gets a little harder.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, I think corner is a good note there too, just because we have the grace to have Jonathan Joseph on our team, who's done it for 13 years and understands alignments and stacks and what coordinator he's going against, and it's just you start to put all that together and you see how good a football IQ can help a corner. And I
Just knowing things. We got some smart guys back there in the back end that we play with that just see things, and you might not be the fastest. I mean, some of the guys older might not be the fastest, might not have the same juice they still had running speed wise, but they're on top of everything because they know it.
Yeah.
You know, they've seen it before.
It's
and
like the game's slow.
yeah,
to
they
them.
believe their eyes.
Yeah.
Like they don't play the game how you play when you're young, when you're just like, oh, I can feel things and go. So they play with their eyes. They know, they see things before it happens. They act on it.
So that was interesting too, because Pete, earlier you'd said I was talking about would Alabama will be able to play an NFL team, and you were like, "There's not disciplined."
No, the college teams aren't
yeah,
disciplined enough to play.
Everybody out there isn't going to make it to the NFL. Everybody you play in the NFL is in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
That's the way I explain it to people. Like,
Yeah.
you might have a kid you're playing against in college who doesn't have. He might be a walk on. Like doesn't have like nothing. Says nothing's wrong with but he might not have a scholarship. And he might not be one of the good walk-ons.
100%.
Somebody might have just got hurt, and he just might be out there.
100%.
You don't got that in the NFL. That guy's getting a check.
Yeah, that guy plays in the NFL.
Yeah.
When you go to practice tomorrow, your whole team is an
Yeah,
NFL.
exactly. Yeah.
No, that's what I think. Like when you're moving up the ladder and you're in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to college, now you're in the NFL. Like obviously, you had to have been stronger and bigger than everybody in high school. Like can you just play freely at that age.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to know the strategy.
Yeah. I mean, I was just bigger and stronger than a lot of people in high school. But I didn't play defense till my junior year, so I played all offensive line.
Okay.
I guess maybe that helped a little bit because I just felt like I could kind of get the flow of what people were doing based off, like,
that's interesting.
The flow of the game in high school.
Right.
Like, and playing offensive line for so long, all those years, I guess it helped out a little bit.
Yeah, so you go, and then obviously so this is a cool thing that now I'm starting to think here about what you're saying. What's the speed like? Because you play freshman year at Clemson.
Yeah.
What I've always thought is interesting about football is you guys play like right when you get on college. Like, at least if you play baseball, you
got a whole
So you go up there and all of a sudden you're playing the SEC. You're playing the best football in the nation.
The ACC.
Or the ACC, sorry.
That's
Whatever.
all right.
Well, I thought you were thinking
that's the best conference in the nation. I think so.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, they're comparable, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, ACC is the best one out there.
Biased. Well, point being, what's the speed like?
Going from high school to that?
Yeah, in that, like, instant.
Crazy. I mean, everybody's out there flying around. First of all, you got freshmen coming straight off college workouts.
Yeah.
So those kids are juiced up. Your freshman year, you are so fresh and you're so much faster than everybody else out there.
In college?
One, I feel like just running around faster, you're fast. Because you're coming from your first year of actually being in a weight program.
Oh, yeah.
A whole summer. And, like, you're really not as beat up as the juniors, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors are. Like, college football is hard.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
The work capacity is so much higher.
The work capacity is way, like,
well, because you're an investment at this point, though. You guys can't be
too much.
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody loves a strength coach, but I don't know if, like, strength programs are built to kill you sometimes in college or, like, a
lot of coaches hang their hat on having the strength coach and build the culture there. Like, as far as toughness, grit, like that aspect, they think they control by grinding you down and making you function in that ground down format. And when the winter programs, obviously everybody has their own version of some type of gauntlet and
a lot of that philosophy too is built into, and this is just interesting for the three of us to kind of chew on, but people believe in the harder you work or like suffering in your training is like mental toughness.
Yeah.
How much do you believe
in that? I definitely agree that to a certain extent it's definitely mental toughness. I just feel like a lot of stuff we did in college, like, definitely got me mentally tough. Like, it was so unnecessary.
Right,
sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the benefit of it being unnecessary at certain points?
Sometimes I felt like it grinded too many, like some guys too far down. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of hit or miss by the person too.
It's hit or miss by the person too, because there's a lot of guys who survived and like scot clean, but that shit, college football is hard.
Yeah,
and they make it extremely hard.
Right.
Just because you got school, you got the workouts are ridiculous. Like, there'll be stuff. I remember one day I came, we ran 5 400s, 6'3", 330 pounds. What the hell am I running 400? Like, for what?
Right.
And 5 of them?
Right. And you guys lift. Did you guys do the early
morning lifts? You go straight from the lift, straight to running.
Yeah.
Nothing in between. Straight out there. I don't care if you just got done squatting 700 pounds. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Get your ass on the line and run.
That's how it is.
No stretch, no nothing. You just went straight from that weight room, straight out there to run.
We warmed up.
Yeah. You might do a couple, like, jogs back and forth, but, like, you're not out there really, like, first of all, you so tired from lifting damn weights, you trying to bullshit that stretch. You're like, man, come on. Just trying to get this run through.
Yeah. What did they, what, you were going to say something on that?
No.
Isn't that, I just think it's.
It was not.
That is wrong.
Well, I always think about it in the sense of, what, do you think they injure anybody who's talented? Like, do you think they ruin a talent?
Injuries just, it's like 100% rate in the sport.
Yeah.
It just happens, but, like,
I think when you're younger, when you're 18, 19, 20, you can sustain a little more of that.
You can sustain, yeah.
Right. Because there's no way you'd be able to move. Like, what would your joints do now if you were lifting like that?
I feel like I would lift like, but I just feel like I would die at one of their workouts. Not necessarily that I couldn't make it through it, but I feel like on the day in, day out, as much as we get hit now, like, or maybe it's just the way it's the NFL.
Yeah.
We're playing against everybody's bigger, stronger, faster. Like doing that over and over, and then hitting the people that we hit on a daily basis. You feel awful.
From a personal standpoint, it's an effect on experience. You learn what works, how it works for you.
Yeah.
Why you need to be strong. Like he needs to be stronger than me in different capacity than like how I train my top speed. It's just everything's different. But I feel younger kids, when you come from different high school programs where like my high school program, like we were very successful and we had a built-in weight training program and everything like that. Right. And then I don't know if you guys had the whole.
Oh no, we had that. We just sucked at football.
But yeah. but I'm saying I'm sure the cultures at our school were different to some extent.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Is it more in like can you? Because in college you can't say like no, I'm not doing that, dude. You know, like to a strength trainer.
Can't say it in college.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can't say that in college, but in
football.
Yeah,
I'm saying professionally.
Imagine. Jesus.
Professionally, you've got to have some type of call on individualizing.
I guess he couldn't really make you do it. But I feel like at this level, not necessarily. I can't say that. Never mind. I trust the guy we got now. He knows what he's doing. I don't know about everybody else's guy. Yeah. I know the guy I mean, you know, I don't want to mention like that, but there were other guys where you would just be like, nah, I'm not doing that. But the guy we got now, I love him. So it's just like, I feel like he wouldn't try to hurt us or detriment to anything that we're doing. So I'm going to do it.
I think the strength coaches in college and NFL are held in very different regards. Because if you hurt a player in college, like it's not like the value's not there in the player and that kind of stuff. So there's a very thin balance between pushing a guy in the weight room now and working on injury maintenance and that kind of, or injury prevention and body maintenance. So it's a very different dynamic.
Well, and then you have ages too, and you have differences and those sort of things. So you just think of professional. I mean, you're black and white, dude. You're investment. You know what I mean? Like you're either, like I said, it's a business side of it.
We are black and white.
That's true. Well, you know black and white. You know what I mean by that. It's like you can't if you get hurt right now, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, but I mean, even in your 3 years now in the NFL, you've learned. What have you learned about strength training? Do you know what works for you?
Yeah, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Like, I obviously know my Olympic lifts, my speed, and he's going to be more explosive than me in those lifts than I am. It's just not the way I'm built. It's just not necessarily working out for me. I think you learn, what works for your body, how your body changes when you do certain things. When I got to the end, this year is the first year I learned how to, actually engage my abs when doing bench press. And I was freaked out by it.
Really?
Because everybody's always said it, but nobody showed you how to do it. Nobody cared. Just
what is that?
But you always hear people say engage your this, that, and the third. Was if your core is not strong enough, you'll never feel your abs get engaged.
Right.
So your core has to be built to be strong enough to get that, and then all that stuff has to work together.
It's some of the fundamentals of the lift. I'm losing my earphones a little bit, but the fundamentals of the lift that you don't learn at different steps in your career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But little things, get great coaching cues. But that's again a testament to a great strength coach. But
what does core? What does the core do in the how did you know you engaged your core?
I can really feel it. I don't know. I don't even know.
I mean, I don't know if you could tell. I don't necessarily.
Really, man? You look like I thought it was 500 pounds, jacked.
I look
yoked.
500-pound bencher.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily.
Wake up out of bed, 500 pounds, easy.
I don't necessarily push the pavement on the bench press, but if I need to start learning how to engage some abs, I need to. Let's go, overeater. Let's throw out the tips.
It's everything.
I don't know if I got you on all the tips. I told you. I just learned it this year. So obviously I'm behind because I'm sure Brian knew that before.
Bench just isn't a chest exercise. You have to engage your back. You have to engage your core, glutes, where to drive through in your feet. All the above.
Just figured it out.
Helped so much. I was like, oh my God.
So then you go. So what was different? What was more speed? High school to college or college to NFL? In your
high school to college.
That was crazy.
For sure. Because literally kids went from being you got 4 or 5 guys on this team that are fast. Everybody who plays skill position in college is fast.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that people are fast because you start calling guys who run 4 or 5 slow. You're like, oh yeah, he not that fast. Because you got a guy right here who runs like 4.32, run 4.32.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, he's super fast. But that guy who runs this 4.56, nah, he not that fast. Like, he kind of fast. It happens. Everything happens so quick in college.
Yeah.
Because, one, like, that and then, like, high school offensive linemen, defense, like, offensive linemen especially, high school offensive linemen are nowhere near as athletic in high school as they are in college.
Yeah,
They're not even
You
close.
just blast those. Blast those.
You can get 185 pound
Yeah,
offensive
you
guards.
might, like that might be your matchup. Like that just might what that school got.
Yeah. And now you just got 3 bills on the line everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And they can run.
Yeah.
That 185-pound kid might be slow, weak, everything you didn't want in an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
But you get to college, nobody's like that, so it's a big jump. And then the NFL is like it's a big jump too, but you're going in knowing everybody's gonna be like bigger, stronger, fat, like because you've played kind of with guys you saw go to that level, and like you know that they were that way.
Yeah.
In the high school, like you don't know. Like all you know is you see them play on Saturdays, and
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna be out there one day, hopefully.
What was that? What was the NFL obviously always part of the vision? Like when did you start going? All right,
Probably like-
I got a shot at this.
Sophomore year of college.
You started thinking.
Yeah.
Did you leave junior year?
No, I left senior
year.
But yeah, in the sophomore year of college, I had like a hiccup where I probably should have redshirted my junior year and then came back senior year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like in the sophomore year. Before that, I wasn't thinking about NFL. I was like, man, I'm just getting an education. School's paid for it. Because when I was like 9 years old, I told my dad, I was like, man, I'm gonna get a scholarship. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I remember like I was 9 years old because a coach. I was playing baseball and a coach was like, "Man, you're not athletic enough to play on my team." And like I just like went home that day and I was sad. I was sad as shit. And I remember like looking at my dad. I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna get a college scholarship in one sport. I'm gonna figure it out."
Yeah.
And like so, like that was it. Like I still see that guy to this day. Every time when I go home, all the time.
You see the dude?
Yeah, I mean, I played against him in high school.
Yeah.
He's a high school coach for like a rival high school, so he's playing against him all the time.
Isn't that crazy how again, I bet all 3 of us can think of, well, you just used it, but all of us can think of a defining moment that switched you, that changed the trajectory of your life.
For
like
sure.
what are you right now, 25?
24.
24, that was 9. You were 9.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're
I remember that conversation like it was yesterday.
Exactly.
Right now, like I remember just being because I was like, imagine telling a 9-year-old fat kid that, damn, you're not athletic enough to play on my team. I was heartbroken. I was like, come on, bro, I'm already out here fat. One of the only black kids on the team. Then you're telling me I'm not athletic. One of the only black kids on the team. You're telling me I'm not athletic enough to play on the team.
You had me in sweat bags at 6 years old. Tell me I'm too fat running circles.
he was running every week, man. He's trying to make the
Imagine
team.
that, BP. I'm one of the only black kids on the team. You just told me I'm not athletic enough to play on the team.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Sir, you don't understand how this works.
I was like, damn, letting everybody down. My people, everybody's getting let down.
This is how this is supposed to work out.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. But yeah, I mean, think about that, man. Think about how you can remember that and that feeds into that.
Hold on. Oh, my God.
Who's
Yeah,
this?
the camera couldn't see that, but that was absurd how that defense lineman hit that quarterback on that pick six.
That was clean. It's a clean hit.
Yeah, clean hit.
Do you guys like watching football when you play football?
I watch all sports,
But you
except
can-
hockey. I can't figure it out.
Oh, you don't play. You don't get on the skates.
I just can't figure it out.
We-
And
we-
I watch FIFA. I mean, I play FIFA, so I watch soccer. I don't even know how to. I can't figure NHL out, so I can't even watch hockey. Like
But if you were a good game, is what you're saying game in here? If you were a good NHL game, would you
Yeah.
watch more hockey?
yeah.
So what do you need to figure out? Come on, break it down. You got a Minnesota boy here.
I get it because I feel like I don't know.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I like lacrosse.
Okay.
I feel like hockey's kind of similar in certain regards of the sport when it comes to as far as like checking and things like that.
It's a flow sport. There's
Yeah, it's a
lines
flow
you
sport,
can
yeah,
cross
there's
at
like-
certain
yeah.
points.
Yeah, so like things like that.
Yeah, do you understand offsides?
What confused me about hockey is I feel like how big is that goal? I've never been to a hockey arena. How big is that goal?
Can we Google that, Nolan? Let's get that on Google. We'll get that one.
Because I feel like if you're a big enough human,
You throw you in the goal, you're gonna be all right.
I feel like I guard the whole goal. I don't
So
understand.
why aren't you playing hockey?
Yeah, and there's just
Because you got to have quick hands.
But there's just not enough scoring in hockey either for me. Like, they shoot so many times to get so little goals.
Yeah. Well, you got
so many shots.
It's an
so
art.
many shots thrown right at that goal, and it can't be that big because half the time the goalie don't even touch it; it just hit him, and then that person don't get a point. So not only you got to make it like you got to dodge his hands, you got to dodge his body, and then the goal's not that big. Like it's just hard. Then you're using a stick with a puck that like doesn't bounce, so it doesn't come off the ground. You got to lift it up. You got to do a lot of work in hockey.
And then you got a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, you got a bunch of dudes trying to hit you.
Yeah, they're skating at you. You got
they don't got teeth, so they scary.
You got fighters. If
you know what I mean? Like
if the skilled player gets hit, then the enforcer comes out and fights that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's an insane sport.
Those dudes are crazy. Like if a dude come to me and he want to fight and he got no teeth, I'm not fighting him. The battle's already won in his favor. Because he doesn't care enough to walk around with no teeth.
He's gonna start swinging at you. You're gonna have to fight back.
He's got those quick hands.
I'm gonna just
real
go
quick. I'm out of here.
Look, bro.
I'm gonna go play lacrosse.
You care more than me. Because you haven't decided to fix this yet. It means you walk around like this on a daily and scare people's kids.
It's a culture thing, man.
It is.
That's a trophy in hockey.
And
I swear.
and going back to chirping. Hockey's a phenomenal chirping sport as well. Some of the best, and the language they have is unbelievable.
Yeah,
they got like dangling, you got the top shelf, all that stuff. You don't know that stuff, do you?
Nope.
You gotta get you up north.
I mean, I'll go to a game, man. I'm down to go watch a game. I'm always down. I'm down to go. Like I feel like it'd be fun in person. Especially people be checking people, hitting people and shit. Like that's fun.
Yeah, it's true.
I just don't get it on TV.
It's fast too.
I don't understand it.
Just text. Oh, they have the Dallas Stars. Yep. There's not a Houston team.
Nope.
Was it Houston's just got football, baseball? Yeah, the three.
Yep. I almost went to one of the Carolina games when I was back home.
Oh, sure. The Hurricane.
Yeah, but I hadn't made it out there yet.
I mean, I'm not like a massive hockey fan. We live in the state of hockey, so most of our buddies are all hockey guys, and they're hilarious dudes. Absolutely hilarious dudes. Yeah, Dave Fisher's he was here. In May? We were in May.
Yeah.
So he's usually on the podcast with us too. Hockey guy, keeps good flow. He's a good speaker, witty. You'd like him.
Good. See, you gotta make me some more hockey guys, man.
Get you back into that. We're gonna start you on the game. We'll take the offsides off on the video game so you can get.
Yeah, that pisses me off.
I'm imagining
offsides in soccer, and it makes me so mad because I'm like, sounds like that's the other guy's problem that I got behind him. Like, I don't understand how you get mad at me for good strategy.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're calling out my type of play.
Dumb.
So what's the chirping in the game for you? And would you guys trash talk a lot?
Me?
Yeah.
Depending on what team.
Have you ever been mic'd up?
Nah.
We got to get you mic'd up.
I mean, I talk, but I got a guy next to me who talks so much that, nobody else got to talk. Nobody else on our team got to say a word if they don't want to.
It's interesting. He plays an interesting position when it comes to chirping against your opponent because you're lining up on the same person.
You're literally
the whole
right
time.
there. Like
I definitely talk a lot. I talk a lot of shit just because it gets in personal battles. Like,
right.
That's just what happens. But then you got guys who don't talk and who really don't care. Like, they're not going to say anything back. Like,
they just don't care.
No matter how long this game goes on, they're not going to say anything. They're just going to do their job and just.
Even if you're talking to them?
No matter what you're saying to them. Like, you could be saying the most. There's some guys, you could be saying the most ruthless stuff too. Literally.
Stone cold.
Serial killers. They're not going to say anything.
Maybe that's part of their.
Just going to sit there.
Does that rattle the talker?
No, I mean, not me. I don't care if you get bothered by what I'm saying. I'm just saying it to say it anyway. I mean, if you. Yeah. When I talk shit, like, if you feel some type of way about it, that's just your problem. Like,
right.
I came in the game to talk shit. I was going to talk shit whether he was winning, losing. Like, if I felt like I got advantage of you on that play, I won.
Yeah.
So I'm just that kind of person. Like,
it is a weird. So do you ever go up against like a buddy of your former teammate or something? A former.
Mm-hmm. I went against. Yeah, I went against one of my former teammates last week.
We were talking about that the other day, like
the whole game.
Yeah, remember baseball when you ever pitch against a guy that you knew? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like weird for a minute there, right? Like you kind of laugh.
My best friend in high school went to the same rival high school as the other guy.
Yeah.
He hit me every at bat with a curveball.
Would,
Every at bat would not be. If he was ever pitching, he wouldn't pitch it. Just hit me with a curveball.
just dotted up on the back.
Yeah, just right there, like right there on the basically the back of my arm every time, like just right there on the tricep. And he like lollipop it in there. He'd probably be like 60 miles an hour.
So he just flip it in on you and then chirp at, laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
So what's it like in football when you're going at it with your buddy the whole game?
Trying to kill him.
That's that's got to be weird.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to kill him. I'm not going to obviously, like, if there was a chance where I had a chance to, like, maybe chip him and he was so far out of play, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably do that to everybody else.
Right.
But him, I might let him pass. Maybe. But if it was coming to me, like, going to tackle him,
yeah,
you're going to try to kill him.
Yeah.
Try to punish him.
Right. That's
Dirt
what you said too, right?
Yeah.
Dirt.
My mom was out there. I'm going to try to kill her. And she's going to try to do the same. Like, that's how we get down in our family. Like, that's what's going on. My mom, yeah.
How many brothers and sisters you got?
I got an older half brother. And then
Older brother?
Older half brother, and then just my mom. I got a bunch of cousins, though. Bunch.
What do you think working on a farm, being a farm life, what do you think that did for you?
I think it helped out, but I think more so like just my mom and dad being super, like they were real competitive. I've never been my mom or dad in a video arcade game ever.
So they lay it on you thick.
And then I was homeschooled, so like we go to the arcade twice a week.
Yeah.
Yes, I've like never been my mom in any arcade game ever. Like she's good, like they're just competitive, like she's just competitive like that. So like,
Yeah.
I think growing up around that, and then always kind of knowing like, you know, I can't certain, like just being raised by them and having that type of stuff, like knowing certain things I can't control.
Yeah.
That helped me out so much with everything when it came to sport, because it was like, oh, there's certain things that are going to happen. Like you can't control, you can't get down about it. Like, of course you're going to be pissed about it because that's just the nature of a competitor, but you can't get your ass on your shoulders. You always got to come back up to work next day with your lunch pail and just go about it the right way.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, that's what. Have you ever read the book Grit? You have it in your house.
Yeah, I haven't read it though.
So it talks about.
You can read?
Top to bottom, left to right.
He has the books. You know what I mean? He's got the books. Usually
the best of intentions.
Yeah. What's the best books I can buy? No, there's like a. I think it was on her grit scale. She writes about grit, and that's like the most predicate, like it's the biggest success predicator for humans is being gritty and perseverance and all stuff. And I'm pretty sure it was her that talks about how when they do interviews, and this came out of Harvard, but when they do interviews, they want to find people who had like farm life, like people who grew up in a farm life environment at a young age. Like, and that builds the behavioral factors of the first start of your life, how that kind of triggers you. I could be wrong on her, and maybe that, but I know that that's part of a grit scale.
For sure.
Is that people that have that?
It's literally like, yeah. I mean, because it's work either for survival, or it's just hard work in general that you gotta do every day. Because if you don't, then if you're doing it for money. Your money's not going to work. If you're doing it for survival, you're not going to get your stuff. So you got to, like, it's one of those things that you literally see the work you put into it.
Yeah.
So it creates you to be tough, because you're only going to get out of it what you put into it, specifically with a farm. Because if you're not out there working that bitch, if you're not out there doing stuff, if you're not out there getting things better, like, you wasted your time buying that land and buying all the stuff you got to buy, because everything's going to die.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna die. So like, that's the biggest thing I took away. Like, it was one of those things where when I was younger, like, granted I wasn't doing it all the time.
Right.
We would go down there and we would do it. I used to be like, this is crazy, because it's just like we wake up, we do the same things every single day. Every day doesn't change unless there's like something special happening where you got to go do certain specific things, but. As far as your general day, you're doing the same shit. It's just mind-blowing how that can like change. And you get a different outlook on life. Like, people are like, my family's happy.
Yeah.
A lot of my family's happy doing that work. And I just don't understand, like, how you can be in that spot all the time. But, like, I do also get it because, like I said, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So you really see your hard work working out.
That couldn't be more indicative for professional football as well.
Right. And because to a certain extent, success is very boring, right? I mean, think about how routine-ized you become as a professional athlete. Like, you have things that you have to do, and you have to do it over and over and over again. Like, it's essentially like if you like, I always think about what's really interesting about just sports in general. We'll just keep it on football. But if you teach somebody the technique of blocking, you can teach like a 10-year-old the principles of blocking, and then you have to figure out, well, why would you want to do this for the next 20 years? You have to get very good at just that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like shooting a basketball. It's literally more so of you can teach any young kid the like basic principles of what makes somebody an NBA basketball player, but more importantly, what would make you want to do that for 20 years over and over and over and over again. It's just and that's where I like to say success to a large extent is boring.
Yeah. Our defensive coordinator, Romeo Cornell, he always kind of his not the name on here, but one of his principles is always enjoy the grind. It'll grind you down if you let it.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So you have to enjoy the grind of football, because it becomes a grind. You do the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing you just said about the farm life. Do the same thing over and over again. You get in what you put in. If not, it dies. Like, if not, your career dies. If you're not doing everything necessary, your production dies. All that, it follows suit. I mean, it's just circle life aspect. But if you enjoy the grind, the grit, the unflashy things of the game.
Well, it's almost like you like that more than when I got out. I was done playing when I was 26. Is when was my last year playing. And it was crazy how when the next year after I was done playing, I missed the grind, if you will. I missed that more than playing, because then you fall in love with like you actually realize like, oh man, I loved the process.
Yeah, you love like you start to see things go away. Like, your body's not looking the same as it was at that point. Like, if you're not working out as much, like
right.
Like, you just certain things are gonna miss you about. Like, you just see things you could do that you're not doing. You're like, damn. Like,
yeah.
Why is it this way? Why is it that way? Like, it's the same thing when it comes cropping season, when you got to switch out those crops.
Yeah.
And it's not working the way you wanted to work at first. That's just how it goes.
So where do you go back home a lot?
Not now. I mean, from time to see my mom.
Yeah.
But I don't really go back to that side. Like, everybody comes up to kind of where we're at, and then I'm all over the place.
Yeah. You a traveler?
I like to travel a little bit yet. Just kind of.
World
I
travel?
haven't made it outside the country yet much.
No. That's what
Those trips scare me.
I'm on the same boat, man.
Yeah, man. I just hear about all those people getting taken and
in the movie taken.
You know,
I don't think anybody's gonna try.
Exactly. Everybody says that, but I'm sure the people who went over there that did get taken weren't going over there thinking, somebody's gonna fuck with me. See, like, I feel like I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna think somebody's gonna fuck with me. I'm gonna be so paranoid. Somebody's gonna come and talk to me. I'm like, oh man, freaking out. Go into a mental breakdown and have to come right back.
You say the wrong thing to the wrong guy.
It's gonna come across ESPN.
That's what
DJ read a panic attack in foreign countries.
Start swinging.
They asked him what he wanted to have for breakfast. He started freaking out.
He didn't understand him.
Yeah, he didn't understand. He just reflected back on all those movies, and when people start asking questions, bad stuff happens.
He fought the waiter for asking what they wanted. Yeah, our strength guy back up north at our facility just went to India, and that sounded terrifying. An India trip.
I'm a fan of the experience. I've been to New
what
Zealand,
language do they
Thailand.
speak? They speak English in India?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know. Did we get the size of the net?
NHL goal is 4 by 6 feet.
4 by 6 feet. You got that thing covered.
That's 25 minutes late.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. The next Google question is going to be, what do they speak in India?
Yeah. What do they speak in India?
Then we'll get the answer in 20 minutes.
4 by 6 feet. I could definitely cover up that whole net.
And then with his first,
just get a sumo wrestler.
I know with his sumo wrestler.
Just get a sumo wrestler, put him on skates, put him in the goal. Doesn't have to move. Just got to be able to take a beat.
They can still slide it on the ice, man.
For good hands. They go through the 5 hole. You know the 5 hole?
Is that the one between your legs?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're standing on, you got your skates, you still got an inch underneath those. They can just slide it on the ground. You got to be flexible. You will get down.
I mean, I guess. They're pretty flexible. You see,
But I know
they get in that stance at the beginning of the sumo wrestling match.
I say you get the big dog right here, 3 whatever you are, plus the first baseman flexibility you bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like I just got to see how thick that equipment is.
It's thick.
It is.
No, yeah, it's thick.
All right, because
If you
I'm not
filled
down really for that puck hit me.
you filled up. I shouldn't.
I saw Mighty ducked a couple times, man.
It's not just a
me
little
tell you,
curveball hanging in there on the
ball
tricep.
coming.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
the flop in the 60.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming at you at 100, and that thing's solid. And you got guys yelling at you while you do it. Well, so and that's where, because he's a world traveler, we were actually just looking at.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Yeah, that's
But-
kind of what.
No offense, man. Like, white people are adventurous. I don't know if I go with, like, I'm not going too. White people don't go too far outside our shell when it comes to like traveling. So like, Brian might be down to do some stuff. I'm like, well, let's go do this. I'm like,
Bungee jumping, get the guy,
Yeah,
get on the cord.
let's go get a guide and go bungee jumping. No,
No.
let's just chill in the room, man. Look at the view. It's nice over here, right?
So then, what would
We'll
be?
grab Brennan Scarlett. We can.
Yeah, there we go.
He'll be our
We
mediator.
got B Scar.
So what's your ideal? If you were to imagine the over the seas trip, what would it be?
Imagine the overseas.
Imagine taking that leap of courage.
Yeah. So you make it, you take it, and you go and do it. Where are we going? Where are you thinking?
Where are we going? Out the Greece.
Dude,
That picture that everybody shows, that Instagram picture.
I know you're talking
It's
about.
over at Santorini, I think.
Are you is it a city? Or you're talking about the beach from the top,
The top where all the house, that picture makes you want to go.
like all the White Houses and everything.
Yeah, all the way, that makes you want to go to Greece. Like,
Yeah.
There's no other reason.
Get over to Greece, you hang out.
I literally have no other reason of wanting to go. I know nothing about that country or place. What is that? Is that it's a country, right?
The ancient
Greece
Greeks.
is a country.
Yeah.
Santorini is a city.
Yeah,
But
it's a good
go over
spot.
there, drink some wine.
What's next to it? What's next to Greece? Like, what's near the Greece?
You got Austria, Italy.
You got me confused now. I thought so. Isn't
It's Mediterranean's right there.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Mediterranean.
Yeah.
It's my show. My show. Things that make you go.
What language is speaking India? How big is the hockey net? We're asking the questions over here. We're asking the questions.
What's the Indian
The
language?
most popular language in India is Hindi.
Hindi. You got no shot over there.
Nope.
We're gonna keep you in Greece.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not gonna say no head
Like,
over
they don't
India.
speak English in Greece either, but
They gotta speak.
yeah, they gotta speak English. Yeah, a lot of tourists. Everybody sees that picture, they come over. They gotta speak English.
Yeah,
Gotta speak something.
they got to get our money.
I would go to Iceland if I were you personally. Quick.
Isn't that the one that's green though?
Yeah, Iceland's great.
Greenland's icy.
You've seen
We see Mighty Ducks.
You've seen
too, yeah.
Mighty Ducks, yeah. This is a Mighty Ducks crew. There's a couple guys there. You like Goldberg. You seen Goldberg on Mighty Ducks?
That's my guy. That's my favorite character on that whole. Easy.
Yeah, man. So, oh man, it took me off track there. I love it. What else? What's else on the top of your head? What else you
What
got
else
in
on the
there?
top of
What
my
were you
head?
thinking about driving over here today?
What was I thinking about driving? That I'd think about a lot of things, man.
That's good. Let's go down the rabbit hole.
Going deep.
Let's get to know you.
Like, why does knife have a K in front of it? Like, who? One.
Perfect. It's perfect.
I'm with you.
And like, who decided to like?
Google it.
Who also like decided to like gave curse words like me? Like, who gave any word meaning? Like, what? Who looked at that TV and was like, television?
So think,
Like, I just don't understand how things hold. Like, that type of stuff confused me. What things hold value because of who said what for it. Like, who all came into agreement and it was like, did one guy do it or did a group do it?
so I'm gonna
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm gonna go in there with you.
This is department.
Yeah, I'm going to go in there with you. You ready? So this is where I sometimes believe what is true, because is truth just a bunch of it was someone who started it with confidence, because essentially it would be everything that we're in right now or staring at is essentially just thought. Like somebody thought of the NFL,
Yeah.
and then somebody thought, well, let's sell tickets, and somebody thought, well, let's pay. You know what I mean? And it was just a bunch of thoughts. And so you would really have to go to the first curse word. You'd have to find the person who thought that's a bad word, and then wouldn't that be intelligence or confidence? Because essentially, wouldn't it be
confidence? Because he convinced you that it was a bad word, right?
right? Like if you sit in the room with me and I just talk like I'm smart and I say I'm confident,
then I believe you. Therefore, I follow. Like,
and now you influence
those people
that.
are like the president of their own word. Like, think about that. Like, they just like they convinced enough people that were like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get like,
Yep.
Webster. Whoever that guy is, he's got a whole dictionary named after him.
That's it. Someone decided.
It's ridiculous.
Someone put K in front of knife.
Was it him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he make all the words?
Rap bastard.
Was it him? Who told that guy he was so smart?
So Webster is just the most confident guy we know.
For real. Gotta have a hammer. Webster out here good.
So what do you think about that? Is it confidence or is it intelligence?
It's got to be confidence because he convinced everybody. Or whoever. We're not gonna say it's Webster. We're not giving you credit or whoever Webster. Like, we're not just gonna say it was you.
Right.
But like, they convinced everybody. I guess that never heard it that way. But that answers a lot of questions that I had. Helps me out so much because like that person God, maybe I convince people like that. I'm gonna try it out.
So think about it in the sense of think about it in locker rooms, clubhouses. Like all of us would know if we did a job interview today, right now, we'd know what to say. Like we would know exactly what to say. Like if I had to come in and we were all teammates tomorrow, and I had to give you a leadership speech, I would be able to know the words to know what to say. But then why do some people influence you and some people don't?
I think that one, I don't know, maybe that was a little bit easier because like you've seen that person do it or you've like known of that person doing it. I can deal with that one a little bit easier.
Okay.
The word one, like you said, like the first time it was ever mentioned, when somebody said friend,
Yeah.
and then they explained to that person as companion, it means like somebody who's like that. Like, why did that person like, yeah, hell yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Gotta be it.
For rent.
It had to come from somewhere. It's built out of necessity.
That's what I'm saying.
And you want to give a title to everything that's tangible.
Right.
And then eventually what's intangible.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
Still didn't explain that K in front of a knife.
It's crazy to think about how you can you can say pull or water and you can visualize water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what I always think of it was flipped. Like what if wood was water? You know, like are you crossing the wood, you know, to get to grease? You know, like that sounds so stupid right there, but like why? What if
that was the name of it? Yeah, like,
and that's how we would speak. You know, so
and then like when you said that, I even I in my head, there's fucking wood over the water, and I'm trying to cross that. I can't even put the wood in place of the water. I can't be like, nah, that's not water. It's wood.
Yeah. So now, the evolution of humans, think about how much that's just buried. Like if you think elephant, you know the analogy. If you think pink elephant, and you start thinking about, don't think about pink elephant, but like that pink and elephant, you can now put that in your mind. Neither of them are around us right now,
and neither one of them even exist.
Right. And we've talked about that for so long.
Freaking Webster. His influence lives of people forever.
I love it.
He's the greatest person ever.
Do you have any other mysteries or things you want us to solve? That's what we brought you over here.
We don't want to get real deep into my one. That one's off the table.
That's the one.
That's the one. That one's got to go. That one gets me questions everywhere. There's a bunch. I gotta
keep them coming. We'll solve them through. You thought you were coming over to do a podcast. We were just solving driving thoughts.
We're just solving mysteries. I still want to know who shot Tupac.
That's a good one.
Because we're in the middle of the Vegas Strip.
I don't think we got that one for you.
We're in the middle of but think about it, guys. We're in the middle of the Vegas Strip. You see everything, man. Like, and so nobody got shot. Nobody saw it. That's ridiculous.
How are you driving away? How's there not cameras outside?
Nothing. In the middle of the Vegas Strip with all the most famous people in the world. I mean, that's That's just one that probably everybody's got questions about. But there's just, why do people break so easily on first 48?
Why do people break so easy on first 48?
Those 48 hours are crucial. And
to solving a murder.
Dude, is it that important too? Because they be acting like on the show, if they don't catch you in the first 48 hours, like, he's free.
Don't the chances go down like 60% or something crazy like that?
Don't know, but I've seen so many people get caught after the 48 hours, or they flash up on the show like 2 weeks later, we saw such and such, we picked him up at a drop. Like, but when the people crack on first 48, it is the funniest / saddest thing in the world. Because you know they're about to go to jail, but the fashion in which they did it, like, they lied so much up to this point.
Oh,
You might as well keep lying.
we talked about lies today.
Okay.
Think about how when you talk to somebody who's lying and you're trying to tell them they're lying, but they've lied to themselves so much that it's become true.
I've done that
Yeah.
to myself. I've been that person.
Oh yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. And it sometimes I don't even think you lie to yourself to the point, like, I've done this recently. Like, I don't think I lied to myself to the point where I was like, oh, blase, like, I don't, like, I believe my lie. I just didn't want, like, you get in such a, I don't know whether it's like a dude thing. You get in such a competitive battle where you don't want to get caught.
Yeah, you don't want to lose.
Yeah, you don't want to lose. Like,
Yeah.
it's over the point of, like, you get in trouble for getting caught because obviously you caught, you're lying. They're telling you you're lying, so they know. You don't want to lose the argument. Like, now you've turned it into an argument, and you're like, I don't want to lose this, so I'm going to just get louder. I'm going to keep going with it. I'm going to deny. I'm going to keep doing it until I feel like I won. And then eventually you always cave in because you are lying. Like, it's the dumbest thing. I don't know what makes... I feel like males do it way more.
And then you have a reason, which is essentially a lie to try to explain why
you lied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're like, well, I lied because I did this and like, nah, you lied because you didn't want to get caught in the first place. Then when you got caught, you got real mad because you were angry and you were like, nah, fuck that, they didn't catch me. I gotta win this argument now. When really, like, you're just bad in the first place. That's crazy.
I hate that when I do that.
I've done it so many times.
I hate when I'm sharing. I hate when I'm saying something to some. This is one that bothers me when I'm talking bad about somebody, and it's like only to make myself feel better, and I know it while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to somebody about somebody.
I feel like such a hater when I do that, but I mean, me and my brother and about 6 of my friends, we give out the Hater of the Year award in our friend group.
Nice.
So I get to do that all the time. I talk going hard on that. I was a co-champ last year. 2018 awards are coming up soon. We do them at the end of the month.
You were co-champ by Hater Award?
Yeah, I was co-champ. It's a tough award in our group.
And it takes time.
Gotta earn it.
Gotta earn it.
Reps.
Gotta earn
Getting reps over and over. What are you willing to do? It's kind of what we learned on the farm years ago.
Yeah, that's why I'm a co-champ. One of our young bucks, he's still in college. He's willing to go to the end to win the Hater of the Year. Like, stuff that's dark.
Yeah.
You're like getting on the plane, you're checking your phone, you're like, oh man, close the phone. Because he's texting you and he's like, it's not good.
It gets dark out there.
Yeah, it gets dark on the plane.
Hey, take it easy, man.
Yeah, take it easy.
You can take the trophy. That's hilarious. Well, you want to take them through the Diamond Series here, Pete?
I mean, I can take you a little bit through it. I haven't delved too much into leading people through it, but the Diamond Series is basically your structure for your life, your success, your profession, however you want to apply your relationships. But to start, it's your purpose and your why. That's home base, and we're going to take you around. First base is your standards.
System.
Okay, so my purpose and why I do what I do.
Yeah, so are we keeping it to football? Or are we keeping it to
life, man.
Life?
Yeah.
Life.
I think my purpose in life has just become a man. And I think when I was a kid, I always wanted to be like a man. And like, that's my why. Like, I want to grow up and be a man. One is accountable. Like, we were talking about that lying thing. Like, that bothers me because I don't want to be known like a lie. Like, everybody does it. Everybody's done it, of course. But, like, I don't want to be known as I just want to be known as a good dude who basically my purpose and my why for why I do things is the grind and just leaving this place better than what I started it. Not just Earth in general, but the people who I impact around me. Because obviously I can't reach everybody. I want to feel that when I walked in somebody's life, my friends felt like, oh yeah, that's a nice
Yeah.
I can take something from him.
Yeah.
I go in a foxhole with that guy. That's kind of that's my why.
I got you. So, again, great why, but that's going to take you to your standards and values you have in place in your life to uphold that purpose and that why.
Take each day in stride. Be where your feet are. I think that was when that guy came and talked to us. That was really one of the best quotes I ever had in my life because I've always lived it that way. Stay true to those who are true to you. I hold real value in that. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends and stuff because my friends were my friends. They were my boys. So I didn't have time for I didn't want any of that because I felt like that was just a distraction. Just created a divide between me and I don't know. So stuff like that held true to me. I'm really big on family. I'm really religious. I'm not I'm not judgy, but
Yeah.
I use the book as some people look at it certain ways. I look at it as a standard to live life in a better way.
That's cool. Yeah.
As a guide to how to live life in a better way. And obviously it even tells you that it's not going to be perfect. So if you look at it that way, to each his own, everybody gives it a name, whatever it is. Or another one of the values, no judging. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got their own thing they got to deal with. And I think just not sweating the small stuff in life because that'll take away from all the big moments that you're going to have in your life. Small moments, when you look back and reflect on them, they don't change the course of what was going to happen that much. But you dwell on them thinking that they're so important in a moment when they're not at all in the grand schemes of how your life's going to fold out. So I think that's one of the biggest things I hold true.
It's very stoic.
I was going to say, man, well said.
Very well said.
That's really cool.
I lost my headphones again. Then transitioning from that, obviously, I hear a lot of perspective and gratitude and how you live your life and a lot of state of being present. What systems, second base, what systems do you have in place to uphold those standards? Is there routines, rituals?
Yeah, there's routines. I do the same thing before the games. I eat a lot especially when I have triggers, because I am kind of in tune with my feelings. When I have triggers, I kind of do the same things, routine-wise, whether I talk, whether I write I take notes on. I don't keep a daily journey, but it's more a weekly log where it's kind of running. Mm-hmm. Where I take notes on what happened during that week. That's always been my thing. I write. I don't use the best grammar sometimes. I always know. I know my grammar mistakes, but I don't use them sometimes. But I write all the time. And so that's kind of my thing. I got notebooks and notebooks and notebooks filled back home where whether it's just free writing or just talking about my day or just coming up with a story, just doing some BS, just going crazy out there. That kind of keeps me. I'm trying to get more into reading, but it's kind of hard, especially in season right now.
Does that fuel your perspective and or really your ability to be present and kind of? Yeah,
it fuels my ability to be. It gets me to express that I for sure know what's going on. So yeah, like you said, be present, but also it gives me an escape to open up my imagination. I can write anything on that paper, and I can take it as far as I want to go with it.
Yeah, it's
and nobody's ever gonna read. If I don't want anybody to ever read, if I don't ever share with anybody, my mom's probably read most of them. But other than her, nobody's probably read any of them. If nobody ever reads them, but I can go super far. I can go so deep in those damn
a lot of rabbit holes.
It just goes into random shit and then half the time I'll get to the end and whatever I had in me to whatever I was feeling, it just goes out and then the story will just end on a cliffhanger and just go to the next day. It'll just be whatever.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's almost like getting your thoughts. It's a therapeutic way of living.
Yeah, it is. I mean? That's one of the things that always gets me back. Kind of, it's like my chiropractor.
I got you.
Gets me back centered, man. My body back right.
Spiritual chiropractor.
We kind of said, I want to go deeper into that part too, because I was like asking people, like you have, I think you said triggers, right? Like I think that's like the most important part of that base for us is your systems is more so of having self-awareness of what are your triggers.
What are your triggers? Yeah.
Like when are you off? When are you know what I mean? When do you get back on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you understanding some of that. So as you've kind of, because it's a pretty cool dynamic, you go boom, boom, boom to here, and you're traveling the country, you're playing different sports, you're seeing different atmospheres, and you're obviously, you're a professional athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing all these things, but you're also a very thoughtful human. It's very easy to see,
Yeah.
right? So, and then you have diversity in the locker room. I keep wanting to say clubhouse, but the locker room of football with, just like I said, a kicker from Hawaii, what I mean, a linebacker from Ohio, whatever it is. And so what are some of the things that you've noticed, if you do want to share, like what are triggers that okay, DJ's got to get himself back into my zone here. I got to write now.
I think just the temptations of what we deal with every day in life. Like, I try to explain this to like my mom the other day. I've never since I've gotten to the NFL, it's not like a cockiness, not like a weird, like it's the situations you get into when I walk into a room at 23 years old, like not something like cocky, like I had enough money in my pocket just as those people, and they're like, so it's one of those things where it's so weird.
Yeah.
You encounter so many people that you work your whole life and you grow up, and all people care about is money. Mm-hmm. Like that's all you talk about. That's all you talk about. Nobody really like puts a value on a lot of things, which they should. People talk about money. So you walk in there as a kid and you got the money that you need, and now it's like, what the fuck can these people tell me now? Like I got them, but like everything they were talking about, I got it.
Yeah.
So like, I think like that when I first got to like that was a big trigger for me. I was like, I gotta like keep myself in check. Period. Like girls, cars, life, getting outside of myself with anything. Like whether I'm talking to this person this way, whether I'm acting about my day this way, whether I'm going here when I know I don't need to be going there. And then you gotta realize like. You get those triggers, and then hell, you got to be conscious enough of where to turn them off. Because sometimes, like, you really don't want to turn them off. Like, they're triggering hard, and you're like, I know it's a trigger. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm gonna do it. Mm-hmm. I think that was like that. That's like hard.
Do you? Yeah, I can imagine.
Super hard.
I think about this, especially in your guys' shoes. And I have a couple buddies within MindStrong that I would talk, and I talked to Pete about this too in the past couple of years since you've been in the league. What I think is really interesting is that on like a platform that you're at, like from a majority of the time, you get everybody's A game, right? Like the general population or whatnot. Like I think that would be extremely hard, where you don't need, you walk into a room and like for the most part, that's that person's A game because they know they're getting an NFL football player walking in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you get the person, no matter, do you ever get to the real root of that person's personality? Does that make sense?
That's a weird thing. You know, like me and BP are both talkative. Like so, we deal with a lot. I'm sure. Like you like, and it's really weird because you don't know, and there's no way of you knowing. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're in the place with that person, you don't really know many other people that know that person. Like you don't. Say you're on the road out of town, you meet a person. You probably don't know nobody else that knows that person. So like that's your only time. Like that's your only encounter with them of judging them, like or figuring out what they're like.
Well, it's weird too. So I had this conversation with my buddy Nate Orff, who just made it to the big leagues this past year, and he was up to see me last week, I think, or right before Christmas. And so our other buddy Steve McGuigan, who's with us, and he was up in Minnesota still, but the day before I took a video of him because we run our Instagram is like our business, right? So you have to have the stories going and stuff and showing what you're doing. And so one day I took a video of Steve working out and was like, look at the beast, just whatever you do, pop, stop, 10 seconds, boom, go. And then the next day I took it of Nate and it was like, Nate, MLB. And then that night at dinner, him and I talked about how now that felt weird for both of us. You know what I mean? Because I was like, now I feel like, man, this is one of my best friends. Like, now am I just using him to get, you know what I mean? And then he was like, yeah, it's weird, dude. It's a weird concept. But then that went into is how do you navigate through people you're meeting? Like, how do you navigate through conversations you're having? Because it is
hard.
different.
It's really hard.
It is hard, and a lot of these scenarios are not like walking into the MASH gym and meeting the guys for the first time and seeing the culture and the character and that kind of stuff. There's a lot more layers in an environment like that. We see somebody at a restaurant or at Topgolf or whatever we're doing.
You're at an event. You're at a dinner. Like, you don't even want to be judging that person like that, but you're also wondering, like, why is he talking to me? Like, why is he or she talking? Like, what?
Yeah.
For what?
Lots of motives and not a lot of other things in the environment where you can
figure out
judge that person.
Yeah,
the company they keep. Like, a lot of times people come up to you by themselves, and like usually you can tell by their wife or the people they're with that whether it's a wholesome group or they're coming after football or they want inside information or it just and a lot of times that's not the case. They just want to talk to you and see how you are. And like,
then the weirdest part is like when those people are like with work. You meet like groups of work because then they're on their best behavior. Not only because you're there, they're on their best behavior because their boss is there.
Right.
So then you don't know that person at all. Almost like you're just like.
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
But again,
it's interesting conversation.
But then there's some people like that you can tell off from the minute they walk up to you, they wanted nothing but like just to be kind and just be around you. Like.
So do you think that so now get away from just the NFL football player aspect, do you think that in all walks of life, do you think that the higher your personal awareness is, the more you're able to feel that? Because I believe, obviously I'm just asking questions, but I believe we all have an energy system. Yeah. So I believe like I actually feel your energy.
I think you would pick who you hang out with better if you did it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I
have some friends back home who I have no reason why I hang out with them. Mm-hmm. But I love them. And if I picked them the other way, like if I picked them like with energy, like I probably would still pick those guys. Yeah. But as far as like other reasons, like besides good energy that I hang out, like I don't know. Mm-hmm. But besides, they're just like they just got dope energy, and when I'm around them, I love them. Yeah. But I think if you pick like with energy, like I feel like you would be around people that you just enjoy a lot more than instead of just being around somebody for the norms. But I feel like you fall into a place where you just want to be around people for status, so you don't care what their energy's like. Yeah, and then you live, like you've already mentioned many times, there's no happiness. Or there's no happiness. There's just being around people just sake. That goes even to this sense of what I was saying earlier about we all know what to say. Like we would all know what to say. Mm-hmm. But that's why I always think it's interesting, like why is one locker room, like ultimately it just comes down to the strength of the energy. Like why is one locker room's culture so tight and then another one's not? When like that person who got all the jobs went through the interviews and had to have said the right things that got them the job because they were saying whatever it was. So now, what is it? You know, because then now the reason why culture, like, it always blows my mind that the stuff that you can't quantify is like what everyone wants. You know, like you can't quantify that type of stuff. You have to feel it. But then how do you feel it? Well, wouldn't you have to spend more time on yourself figuring out what it feels like so that you can actually get into rooms and go, this is what I need? That was some deep shit right there. Yeah. That was no, it was good, but that was some deep shit. Like, I think you have a good ride. I think those windows down there when you ride home.
I think it takes a lot of people with a lot of self-awareness. Yeah, and 100%. I think there's again too many variables to name. Continuity between the people, their energy base, their motive, their purpose, and like nobody has the same purpose. Like you've taken 52 people through these
different backgrounds.
Yeah,
it's insane, different reasons. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And I've been friends with DJ for 3 years now. I've been his teammate. I've had the luxury of playing on the field with him. And, like, I could have picked and chose what I thought his why and his purpose and standards were. And I was nowhere fucking close. Like, in my mind, if I had to pick beforehand. Yeah. But I don't know. Our energies are always kind of vibe. We always had the right motive at the right time. And in those other scenarios, we've always been able to, I guess, sync up and judge who we let into the circle, and I think that's how the team works.
100%.
Because I'm very judgy, but it's jokey. Like I like to make I'm very jokey on people. I chatter like baseball, when I'm out.
Yeah.
All the time. All I do
Nonstop
is
chirping.
every time. Non-stop chirping. It's the best.
But that's
BP goes along with it. That's the best part about it. That's why we're friends.
But so like going to the culture of the team, but that's developed over the 3 years. Like because you
For
got
sure,
you
yeah.
got here and you had Vince Wilfork,
Yeah.
who's the wise man. He's chirping a little
a little
bit,
bit,
but
Yeah, witty, yeah.
So it's different. Like the vibe of the team is just this year's for sure a lot different than the first 2 years I was here. Just because those younger guys that were here when I first they're getting older now. Like BP's older. He's a young guy. When I a lot of those guys getting older and they're just wiser and they're in the right moment of their career to be in the position that they're in. Like JJ's not old. He's not an old guy. What is it, year 8? You're not going on 9.
yeah, you're
From the league perspective, he's old.
He's
but
old in the league, right?
as age, he's right in the prime of life to where when you're a young guy, you can look at him and be like, he's not that far away from me, and he's grown this much in this amount of years.
That's a good point.
You can do this. It's easier to see than when you go look at a guy who's 16 years in, and you're like, well, shit, I don't even know what he was like.
Yeah.
He could have been the same person 10 years ago. Who knows?
Yeah, that's crazy to think that you play, because even if you're in college, you're a 4 or 5, I mean, in some cases 6-year window of the longest time.
Yeah.
You play 16 years in the league. That's that's like half your life at that point that you've spent in that platform.
Yeah.
We're different people now. You just said it. You're
Yeah.
different now than you were last year.
Yeah, exactly.
This 2020, this day in a year, you'd hope that you better be different, you better have
Yeah, and I
evolved.
think that's the biggest thing, especially about our team. And most locker rooms a lot of players are. Let's not even take our team. Let's take I'm sure the New Orleans Saints have a good culture.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because their good players have really Cam Jordan's awesome.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram's awesome. Drew Brees awesome. Their good players have good energy, and they're at that age where they're not too old for the young guys to look at them. Well, Drew Brees out of
It's
question.
not too, yeah.
Drew Brees is way too big of a gap for everybody else, but everybody else,
Right.
everybody's like, oh man, he's just in my shoes a couple years ago. It wasn't that long ago. So it's easier for you to obtain Drew Brees on your contract number 6. Nobody's really everybody's looking at Drew Brees like a legend. God, that's so far away.
That's so far away.
You're looking at a guy like Cam Jordan. You're like, all right, there's a couple more years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be that guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. I never really thought about it like that.
And I feel like most of the teams who are good,
That ability to
They
grow
have
inside
that-
the team.
yeah, I feel like most teams who are good have that kind of that's the way their locker room dynamics set up.
I would love to see.
I think about when the Seahawks were good those years.
Right. Well, think about Tom. What's Tom Brady like to a 22-year-old?
Yeah, it's probably unimaginable.
Yeah.
If I walk in there and Tom Brady, I walk in a room and I'm sitting there, all I'm thinking is 5 Super Bowls. He's been in the league. And his wife's
40 years
and his
old.
wife's a Victoria's Secret supermodel.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a standard to walk in and live up to
Yeah.
without knowing. If I got drafted with Tom and I see, he's a 6th round pick, this, that, and the third, I can do
I see what
that.
you're saying. Yeah.
But when you see Tom now, all you're thinking is, damn, that's Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady.
You're a kid.
Yeah.
If I walk in there now and I'm in Tom Brady's room, all I'm thinking is shit. He got this thing figured out. Hey Tom, man, what you doing, man? You got this thing figured out, huh?
That's cool.
It's just not even.
There's no bridge between the two.
Yeah, there's
steps,
not a. I'm sure he's cool, but there's just not a close enough bridge
Sure.
to where you're
You can't really either. And life experience.
you're almost not even gonna want to go kick it with him because you're
What are you gonna talk about?
he's raising his kids. I'm out here trying to have fun.
It's even
trying to dodge kids. He's raising kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the guy I want to hang out with.
Well, that's perfect. That segues us into our last base, which is vision, which is interesting because we're right now talking about, you're obviously saying, could I see this, do that? And so we go our third bases and being a baseball guy. The reason why vision is third is because that's triple's the hardest hit to get. So
Yeah, didn't get none of those.
So when you look at, and I absolutely love Be Where Your Feet Are. That's a baseball one too, right? And that's we talk about that all the time with MindStrong. And so you think about, it's crazy. The system of it is your purpose creates your intentions behind your standards and values, right? And then all of a sudden you have your standards, your principles, which creates your choices ultimately. wherever your standards and values are at.
Mm-hmm.
Then it creates the choices, which is in your systems to live, and you're the result of all of those decisions, right? And then what keeps us exciting, because we do have that, we've talked about it, success is boring aspect, right? On the farm of just continuous effort over and over again, which we have to dominate. Like, we have to be good at that. Tomorrow we have to get up, we have to all get to work.
Yeah.
We got to take care of our business.
For sure.
But what keeps things exciting is that vision, right? So, and you kind of can build it up in your head however you need to or however you want to, but it's kind of that carrot out front. So what's DJ's carrot out front?
I think my vision is to change the legacy on my last name. That's all I want out of life, no matter what aspect that comes in, whether it comes in football, comes on outside of the field, something like I was telling you, like, I just want people to realize, like, my vision is just to change the outlook on, like, what my legacy of life, like, somebody sees the last name Reader, period, on no matter who it is, they're like, God, if he anything like that guy,
You're gonna be all right.
he's gonna be all right.
That's
And that's like my vision.
I like that.
That's like my vision about life. Like, and that's like always how I went about it. Like, that's what I wanted. And everybody messes up, does dumb shit all the time. Like, that's what I wanted. Like, if anybody, football gives me the platform to do it now.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
And I can't ask for anything much more. But, like, I always knew when I was younger, if it was anything, no matter what scale it was on, whether it was just people in my neighborhood, people in my city, people up the street from me, if they thought that, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to change the legacy of my last name. Like, that's my vision for life. Be a good husband, be a good dad, change the legacy of my last name to where anybody who thinks about that last name thinks about what that person was like that had it, and they have the qualities of the person that they knew who wore it.
That's a good man right there.
That's good people.
I
told you he's good people. I told you he's good people now.
You did. You said that to me the other day. We were leaving the game because I wanted you to be on the podcast. We talked like a year ago or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you cracking me up in the one conversation we had. We talked for like 3 minutes, and I was like, that guy's freaking funny. And you were like, yeah, dude, he's a ride. He's a good time. And so I've been telling him, I said, hey, you know, I like the request coming in. This is all good. I want Reader on the podcast. And here we are. This is one of my visions, my man.
Nice.
So hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on, and I hope. I think you had some awesome. I mean, great. It was awesome. It was a great conversation. It was fun listening to you, and I appreciate you sharing some of that stuff. And to piggyback off what you just said, I hope that we can flip this around and hopefully share this with some people to spread that. You know what I mean? Get your name out there and help some people hear that stuff, because that's cool to hear. And but more importantly, what I really like to do on these podcasts with everybody is just say thanks for your time. I think that's the greatest form of leadership, is people giving away their time. And for people who can put themselves, the listeners who listen to this, they can comprehend what you did to help us out today. It's awesome. You know what I mean? It's New Year's Day. You guys are in the midst of a playoff run. You just got done playing ball the other day, and you headed over here in the evening to sit down and chop it up with us. So for me, that doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate that.
No place I'd rather be, man. Houston, Texas. Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. I forgot what I was going to say after that. It was quiet. BB kicker rap.
No. We're not getting into that, but no. But piggybacking off what Harv said. Obviously, I've been with you for 3 years now. Never had a dive down the rabbit hole into what's going on in your mind, what your purpose or values are. We always are moving in the same direction. We're motivating each other. We're working together. We're working with the guys around us. And the one thing that always stood out with me about you was your compassion. And I kind of look in that in the locker room, and those are the people I've gravitated towards, because I consider myself compassionate. Like, I want the people around me to be successful. I want to be a leader. What my role has been in the special teams role, but it permeates to my friends and the people that I want in my life as well. So I learned a lot today.
Yeah.
I gained a lot more respect for you, just learning about I knew your journey. I knew kind of how you approach work, but when you start diving into how somebody approaches how they look at people and how they want to be respected, and how, like, even your vision of changing your last name or changing the legacy of your last name, like, knowing that that's what you hold dear and that's what you want to get around to. It just, it's gained nothing but more and more respect for me. And I had a hell of respect for you from the jump. So again, I appreciate you joining on. Obviously, these are my peoples.
Yeah,
my peoples mean more of my peoples.
My peoples up in Minnesota. I got a boy playing in the farm leagues up in Minnesota right now. So hopefully he gets moved up next year. Maybe he'll be he's in the Twins organization, so hopefully get to come out there.
Yeah, come on up.
He
comes up all the time.
Yep.
Come on up. We'll have a good old time.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a good time.
So, again, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate
you,
it.
brother.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely right. Appreciate that. Hey, episode 52. Check it out. Cheers.